Hey guys, so I've already filmed this video, but I'm filming it again because this time I'm organized. So this will be a little bit better, and I just want to make sure I get this video done and upload it, and then I will upload part 2 and possibly part 3 because the first killer we're going to cover, there's a lot to unpack with him. Also, my daughter's here, so if you hear a little baby talking or crying, it's my daughter. She's right next to me. Anyway, so we're going to talk about Rodney Alcala. Now, there is, again, a lot to unpack with Rodney Alcala. So today we're basically just going to go over the basics, and then in part 2 and possibly part 3, depending on how long it takes me to film part 2 and part 3, we will unpack more. So, again, I'm just going to go over the basics. I'm going to go over basically his early life and how he got his nickname. So, Rodney Alcala is known as the dating game killer, and I will explain why later on in the show, or later on in the video. I don't know why I said show. Okay, anyway. So, Rodney James Alcala was born in 1943 to a Mexican-American couple. Now, he was not born Rodney James Alcala. He was born Rodney Jacques Alcala Buquar in San Antonio, Texas. I don't know why he changed it. I don't know when he changed it. All I know is that he was born under a different name and changed it, but so did Hitler. So now, in 1951, when Rodney was 8, his father moved his whole family, so that was Rodney, his mom, his dad, and his 2 sisters. He moved them all to Mexico. Now, we don't know where in Mexico. We just know Mexico. Okay? Now, 3 years later, so in 1954, when Rodney was 11, his father abandoned them, and we have no more information on his father. Okay? We just know that when Rodney was 11, his father up and left him, and we have no information on his father after that. We don't know what happened to his father. We don't know if his father's still alive. We don't know if he was murdered. We have no more information on his father. After his father left, Rodney's mother moved the family, so herself and her 3 kids, to Los Angeles. Okay? Kind of like as a fresh start. So, Rodney is known as the dating game killer for his appearance on the dating game in 1978 at the age of 35. Now, The Bachelorette on that show, the episode he appeared on, Cheryl Bradshaw, actually chose Rodney as the winner of that episode and then rejected the date after meeting him and stating that he was creepy. Now, Rodney was not introduced as a serial killer. Now, in 1978, he had already committed crimes because he committed a crime in 1971 that was not proven that he was the killer until 2011, 10 years before he died. And then he committed crimes. Now, that one was in New York. In 1977, he committed another murder in New York, and then he moved down to California and murdered between 1977 and 1978. Or 79, sorry. So between the ages of 34 and 36, he was killing. So he was introduced as a photographer, a successful photographer. And that might have been one of the things that Cheryl Bradshaw was attracted to. But she met him, stated he was creepy, didn't go on the date, and I believe that saved her life. Because, again, he had already been killing at this time. Now, in 1961, at the age of 17, Rodney Alcala joined the military. 3 years later, so now this is 1964. Rodney is 20 years old at this time. He has what the Army called a nervous breakdown and went AWOL. Now, if you don't know what AWOL is, it means absent without leave. AWOL, absent without leave. Now, that is a punishable offense, and it's punishable by jail time. Now, I know now that the jail that they would probably go to is in Fort Leavenworth. You do not want to go to Fort Leavenworth. It's beautiful, but that is because that's where the prison is, and they make all the prisoners do yard work. So it's a beautiful place, but it's where the prison is. Okay, anyway. So he went AWOL, hitchhiking from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, to his mother's house in Los Angeles. So he hitchhiked across the country while he went AWOL. Now, while he was in the Army, he was diagnosed with an antisocial personality disorder by an Army psychiatrist. And so for some reason, they didn't jail him. And I don't know if it's because of that. But other psychiatrists agreed with the antisocial personality disorder. They also said he has a narcissistic personality disorder, a borderline personality disorder, and a malignant he has malignant narcissism with psychopathy and sexual sadism. Okay, he was a sexual sadist. So he was a serial killer and a sexual predator referred to as a serial rapist. But he wasn't just a serial rapist, he was also a pedophile because he would take pictures of young women, young girls, and young boys. They found over 1,000 photos in his apartment of these people. So that's how he said that he was a photographer, because he had taken all these pictures. Now, I am in no way giving a nod to Rodney Alcala, but the fact that he was able to pull off getting on the dating game after having committed murders and rapes, it's amazing to me that he actually was approved to go on the show. I don't know if they just hadn't connected them to him yet, or if he somehow managed to get away with them. I don't know all the details about his murders. I mean, I know a lot of details about the murders, but not all of them. And so I don't even know. But I know that his crimes in California started in in 1977 at the age of 34. So 14 years after he left the Army. But after he left the Army, he studied film at NYU. He started in 1971. 6 years before he started killing. He was studying film at NYU. How is this even possible? That this kid was so normal for a while. Now, at the age of 17, I don't know if he lied on the paperwork and said he was older than 17. I don't know if his mom signed a paper. I don't know what the deal was. But this is in 1961. I don't know if you were allowed to join the Army at a younger age in 1961. I just know when my dad joined, and when I joined, and my brother joined, if you were under 18, you had to have a parent sign off. My dad didn't join until the late 1900s. My dad wasn't even born in 1961, okay? My mom wasn't born in 1961. We have to focus on these things. But, yeah. I just wanted to cover the basics. Get that out of the way. There will be a part 2. There will most likely be a part 3 based on what I covered today. I know this is a short video. I do apologize for that. I just wanted to cover the basics of Rodney Alcala and get that out of the way, because the basics are the parts that surprise people the most. And I just wanted to make sure that we got the basics were covered, and the basics were good to go. So, now you know the basics about Rodney Alcala, and in the next video, we will probably cover most of, if not all of his murders and rapes, and then we'll go into his trials, because his trials, there's a lot to unpack in his trials, so we definitely need a couple parts to this killer. Most killers will probably be 1 or 2 parts, and then we'll be done, but I don't know. We'll just have to see. But anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for listening. And we both say bye. Say bye, Elise. Bye.